Welcome to the very first critique session here of the Project 52 Pros Summer Group. We're looking at Stranger Folks that you've shot. And we're also going to cover a few little housekeeping things. Hoping everybody got their newsletter. If you're not getting your newsletter, check your spam folder and let me know if it's not there and you're not getting it. Let me know. It's absolutely imperative that you get that newsletter because there's going to be stuff that's only sent out to you on that newsletter. That's the way um, that this is starting to work out so much better for the way I'm doing things. Each time I do this, I learn something. So I think each time you do anything, you learn something. The newsletter that'll be coming out Saturday will have the links to the Udemy courses. So you have free access to all three of my Udemy courses, which is the lighting with simple gear, natural light, fashion and beauty, and the marketing site that's currently still under construction. But you won't get halfway through it by the time I finish it. A lot to do there. I'm also doing one on location portraiture, and you obviously will get access to that as soon as it is done. That's part of the deal. Everybody gets to all the Udemy stuff, and I'm just jazzed to be able to do that for you. Um, all right, so we're going to use the question things to let me know if you have any questions up until the point we've gone through the images. And at that point, we will we'll unmute you. If I look at your shot and I start to chat with you, that would be great. If you are smart, you're using a microphone, and if you're really smart, you got the microphone with the ear things on it, or you've got a directional mic like me. I use a Blue is the company, and I use a thing called a Snowball, and I also use a thing called a Producer. It's a USB mic. It's called a Producer. It's aimed at my face right now, and interestingly, when you guys talk to me, it does not feed back. It only gets the audio coming right from my face. The Blue is a little bit more omnidirectional, but this is very directional. If it's not aiming at me, and I can turn my head a little bit, no problem, but it doesn't pick up the sound from behind. So, since I'm heavily invested in webinars, I invested in some good mics, and I hope they work out. Let's start out by first. Yeah, Nat Seymour, by the way, popped in and said Creative Live is doing a 3-day course on food photography starting tomorrow. Probably be a pretty good thing for those of you interested in food or understanding that your next assignment. I don't know if you've seen it. Your next assignment is a food shot. So just giving you a little heads up there. So fantastic. Thank you, sir. And let's move on here to our very first image. Okay, hold on. I've got to do something on the page. And right here. And right here. Okay, link equals. I've had some interesting WordPress issues. It's supposed to go to the image, and it went to the page. Let's see what happens now. There we go. And it's coming up over there. Fantastic. I see what we're going to have to do. Just going to have to take it in like this and bring this over here like this. Okay. This photograph is by Anne, who is our very first person up on the list there of folks. So I'm going to unmute you, Anne, and tell us a little bit about your photograph there. How are you? You were there for a second? Oh, and she muted herself. Anne, you just muted yourself instead of. There you go. How are you?
Good. I'm good, thank you.
Good. So this is a stranger shot here of looks like somebody at a market.
Actually, it's the ice cream man
Mm-hmm. Okay.
where I live,
Was it difficult to ask
and
him?
I asked him if I could take a shot of him, and he said yes.
Nice.
Actually, it wasn't difficult because I had tried two other people and they said no. So uh, I
That's
was
you
just,
get a few no's, you just keep on moving, right?
yeah, yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah. The
Um,
first one was difficult, but after they said no, I got more courage and it was much easier after that.
Fine. I like the shot. I would I would love it if this little patch of light hadn't grabbed his chin there.
Okay,
I do love it down here, but when light starts to break up the face, it will always distract. But
okay.
what a great expression. He's really happy that you're taking his picture, and that's
Uh-huh.
what we're going for. This little thing can be fixed by shooting a lot of pictures of him. So nicely
Okay,
done. Nicely done. Very fun.
okay.
Glad to have you here.
All right. Thank you.
Hmm.
Thank you.
And we have Shane Ernest. Hi, Shane. How are you? Let's find Shane and unmute him. Oh, Shane isn't here today. Okay, so we'll go through the shot real quick. Shane, we got some people here. Looks like this guy is engaging you, and that's what we wanted you to do. Shoot somebody who is looking at you, not a grab portrait or what I call a voyeur portrait. I like this. The light is nice and natural. I don't see any lighting being used. So we got lights on the face, and we got a very good expression. And that's, I think, the most important thing about doing this type of photography is you got to get a good expression. Lighting wise, we could do a few things to improve it, but that's down the road. You won't do the same shot twice. Um, find ways to improve this lighting, even if you're on the run. There are ways that we can fix it up. So, very good, Shane. Let's move on to okay to Duran. I think it's Duran. Pretty sure it's Duran. Oh, not on here either. Um, okay, Duran. I like the shot of the guy. I just wish that we had used a lens that had less depth of field. I like him being in focus. I'm not crazy about the hubcaps or the lights or the fixtures. There's so much depth of field going on back here that it really distracts from the gentleman playing the guitar. Uh, he's smiling, so I'm gonna go ahead and guess that he is definitely aware that you're taking his picture, which is fine. Um, the thing I'm looking at here, it looks like a wide angle lens because his head looks a little distorted. Yeah, I don't know. The background doesn't seem distorted. Yeah, I wish we had less depth of field to really pull him out. Maybe lighten up his pants so they didn't just go totally black. Whether you use Lightroom or Photoshop, maybe pop this arm up just a little bit. Um, maybe lit from the photographer side here because I am seeing a highlight here and I'm seeing a highlight in the ear. Do you see that right there? And then right here on his forehead. So there may be a strobe or something popping over here on this side of the photographer, which may have necessitated the depth of field to keep it within shutter sync. All right, we'll find out later on that. All right, Patrick Damon. Patrick Damon. Are you on here? Patrick Damon is not on here. Okay. Not today, anyway. Um, got the lady looking right at the camera, so we know that she is aware that you're taking her picture. And this is something that I call a complex face. And you'll hear me talk about complex faces so often. A complex face is one that has light, shadow, light, shadow, light, shadow. You see how many layers of things there are on here? we've got light coming in from too high an angle here, so it's dropping these down, and we're actually split lighting her lips here. How do we get away with from that? Well, we turn them either all the way around so they're backlit. So just the face is getting the north light, the soft light, the ambient. And then we eliminate any little bit of light coming on the tip of the nose just by angling their face. So if this shot looks like it was done quite late in the morning or evening or early in the afternoon, because our light isn't going straight down, but it is definitely got a very high sun to it. It's probably not the best time to take this shot. Expression wise, she looks wonderful, big real smile. She's squinting because of the sun. Something else that we can do by that we can eliminate by getting her so there's no sun on her face, then those eyes will unsquint. What I'll do for a shot like this is get that backlighting, get the face to be a smoother a presentation of the light, and then make sure that something behind me is dark so that she can look into the dark area and open up those eyes a bit. They're in the sun. It's very, very difficult. And no watermark on this one. This one's Sally Bear. Sally, are you on here? Oh, Sally. Wish you were here. Okay. Pretty shot, Sally. Nice light on the, looks like a mom and her daughter. Nice light all the way around. We're getting some bounce from the face back in to open these shadows up. Definitely got white eyeballs here. Definitely have white eyeballs, so our exposure looks pretty darn good. Kind of fun, and works very well, Sally. Very nice, and a good composition, although I think it's a little tight to the bottom. Got a lot of hat, but we really come right up into the child's chin here, really close here. I'd rather see more of the child's arm to give me some context than the hat. I could come all the way into the band of the hat and still be okay with that because it's the brim that's fun. So looks good. And we have Fran. I know Fran is on here. I just saw her name, didn't I? Yes, I did. Hello, Fran.
Hi, Don.
How are you?
I'm just peachy keen.
You're peachy keen?
Yes, sir. Always.
All right. So, Fran, tell me how you did this.
I went down to the marina in my little town to catch the sunset, and this gentleman works at the marina, and I just asked him if I could take his picture. He said absolutely. And we just started chatting for a while.
And it's interesting, too. I just really wonder sometimes how many people have terrible experiences going out to photograph strangers, because when I give the assignment, I usually, especially like in the live workshops, say, okay, we're going to break and everybody goes out and photographs a stranger before you come back from lunch. And they're like, oh my God. And I'm always thinking, no, they won't hurt you. The worst they'll say is no. They'll say no or whatever. And for me, one no is it. I don't cajole. I don't, please, oh, come on. They say no. I smile, say, well, thanks anyway, and walk away. But you'll find it most people, I really do think most people go, oh, sure. So he looks great. He's smiling for you there.
He's a real nice guy. We were talking photography and catching the sunsets and all kinds of different stuff. I've seen him before, but this is the first time I got to take his picture.
Yep. First I chat with him and find something in common, and then I ask him for the photograph. What are you doing here? Oh, that's really great. I'd love to come down here. But can I get your shot? Kind of thing. Now, did you light it at all?
No, that was the sun. The sun was extremely bright that night.
Yeah, and coming quite low too. I can see in his glasses the sun's pretty darn low, and our shadow is going straight across, so it looks like it's right on the horizon. Great time to be photographing.
It was just about to go down.
Yeah, great time to be photographing. All right, thanks, sir. And let's see this Jerome Fire Department. Who is this? This is Ty. Hi there, Ty. How are you?
Doing well, thank you.
So you got up to Jerome. Was
Yep,
this
was up there over the 4th of July holiday, and yeah, my wife was doing some shopping, and I was just walking around the little town and up by their little fire station that they have. I was actually shooting some HDR shots of the actual firehouse, and I walked around to the back of the fire station, and a gentleman drove up in his pickup truck, and they were getting ready for the parade that was going to take place, which was literally, a matter of 10 minutes. Pretty small town, but anyway, yeah, I just got talking to this gentleman who turned out to be the fire chief, and asked if I could take some pictures, and I did.
that's
And
cool. No,
after your commentary earlier about blurring out the background and the bokeh, I totally noticed that on my shot now.
well, I'll tell you what. If you are shooting, well, I'll tell this. This is a story. We were shooting very first workshop I ever did. I had 5 photographers, and they all shot Canon, and they all had the 70-200. So I had a young lady sitting on a picket or leaning against a picket fence, beautiful location. And the idea was to shoot down the picket fence using it. I had a diffuser for light in front of her and to throw the, background to really isolate her. So they're shooting away. And just for the heck of it, I stopped and I said, oh, okay, well, what are you shooting at? And the answer was across the board, it was, and I'll always remember this, 5.6, 5.6, 8, 5.6, and 11. And my thought was, if you paid the money for a 2.8 lens, why are you shooting it at 5.6?
Yep.
It was natural light. And they were like, oh, they dropped it to 2.8. Now, and you know what happens, of course, is when you're looking through the camera, you're looking through 2.8.
Yep.
So it looks good through the camera. It's just that when you're taking it, it's closing down and getting that depth of field. Now, what lens was this that you shot this on?
I think it was my 24-70.
And it's out about 35.
34 actually.
Okay. 34. So even at 34, even at 2.8, you're still going to get some stuff. So this was probably shot at, I'm going to guess 5.6.
No, it was actually shot at 2.8.
Was it really?
Yeah. Now that I'm looking at it, because I've got a couple of them from when I shot this particular shot, and now that I'm looking at it, I have one that I would have preferred to put up in place of this one, but either way, I'm looking on my Lightroom settings, and it was ISO 200, 24 millimeters, 2.8 at 1/2000th of a second.
Yeah, okay, that makes sense. But you can really see, even at 34 millimeters at 2.8, we just don't drop back too much.
Yeah.
I'm looking at a 35 millimeter f1.4, and even with the f1.4, we're still not. This still isn't going to go like it would if we'd shot it with a 100 or a 135 or something like that. Nice shot, Ty, all the way around.
So should I have shot it more at like 1/250th, 1/25th, like something like that?
No, that wouldn't make it. You were already at 2.8. Yeah. You were already. Your shutter speed that has nothing to do with the depth of field.
Okay, all right.
You were already at 2.8. Are you Nikon shooter?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's why the 200 ISO.
Yes, correct.
Have you ever shot it at low 1?
I have, and I actually maybe we can talk about this offline, but I've been having some sharpness issue. Like I shoot a D700, and I have been for probably about 5 or 6 years now, and I've noticed that it's not as tack sharp as I had wanted it to be. But yeah, I've tried. So my point is, I've tried getting it down into the L1, L2, and I've just noticed, and maybe it was just the other settings, but that it wasn't coming out very sharp. So I've been just sticking with the ISO 200.
Yeah, I have not seen that. especially with the D700. Low 1 is a beautiful one to use, by the way.
Okay.
So if
All
you're
right.
having
Good to
trouble, we'll figure out what the trouble is you're having.
know. Okay. Very good.
We'll find out.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And I saw Sally joined us. So I'm going to unmute Sally really quick. Sally, we just looked at your photograph, but I'm going to bring it up because I know you've had problems getting here in the past, and I'm so happy you're here.
I'm here.
All right. We like your shot. We do.
Thank you.
And what and you'll be able to hear it on the recording. I'll quickly say the only, I mean, your exposure is beautiful. It's nice and bright and everything. The only thing I had was we have a little bit, we have some hat that we don't need, and we're really close on the chin of the child. So I'm just wondering, we'd drop the camera a tiny bit, could clip off the top of this, because it's the brim that sells the hat, right? That's the hat right there. That's the part we need to see. And just give us a little bit more room down at the bottom. But lovely shot. Glad you're here.
Okay, thank you.
Very good. All right, and let's go back to this one right here, which is Julie. Let's see, is Julie on here? Yes, she is. Hi there, Julie. How are you?
Hi, good. Can you hear me?
I sure can.
Okay.
And we have this lovely young lady here in the sun. Obviously, we've flashed her with some sort of lighting.
Right.
Nicely
right.
done, by the way. Is this
thank you.
Is this a hard flash, or is this like in a soft umbrella?
No, actually what it was a class we were learning how to use flash benders. And so we were to look for a subject, and I asked this girl if I could take her photo.
I bet she's been asked before.
I don't know. She's just good looking. She's not a model, but she is good looking.
Yeah, she's a very, very pretty girl. Now, your class learning to use what now? Flash what?
It's called flash bender. You put it on the end of your flash, and it's like a diffuser.
Okay, not familiar with that.
Yeah.
Looks like it did a nice job. Got a bit of a hard line right here, but it doesn't hurt the image at all. And the shadows under her hair are very nice and soft. So whatever diffusion thing is it's doing a pretty nice job. I see a dark shadow there. But what I do like very much, Julie, is your judicious use of the flash. So it doesn't overpower her or give us that real, what I call that fill flash look that I don't much care for at all. Right. So, yeah, nicely done.
Thank you.
And we're down to, this is Thad's shot. And I saw Thad on here earlier. Hi there, Thad. How are you? Thad, are you there?
Sorry, I muted myself.
I'm not, if you're talking, I'm not hearing you. You just muted yourself. Now you're unmuted, but still no audio, sir. Well, you work with that, and I'll start looking at your picture here. Okay, looks like a family shot on the beach. Lots of dynamics. You know, looks like the dad's really got the kid tight. Mom's got the kid tight. Two reasons for doing that. Number one, the kids are like going nuts. Number two, it also makes for a fun dynamic. I am not a family photographer. I run screaming and cursing from anyone who asks me to do family photographs. So I have great respect for those people who do it. Are you there now, Thad?
I'm here. Can you hear me?
You're very faint. You got to move really into that microphone.
How about now?
A little bit better.
There
you go.
Okay. All right. Let's.
There you go.
That. Okay.
Very good. About this shot. How did we do this shot?
It was kind of easy to pick out the subjects because they were standing on the rocks, and the dad had the two boys in his hands trying to get him to pose, and mom was trying to help him with one hand and shoot with her pocket camera with the other. So I just approached them and said, "Would you like a family shot?" And they were
Ah,
more than happy to have me do it for them.
that's very cool. Now you're going to send them. Um, can you when you got there, were they like
Yes.
noticing you or anything?
No. No, they were pretty engrossed in what they were doing. The boys were pretty energetic, so the father had all he could do.
Excellent.
Yeah,
Well,
and I did get their address and their email address, so I definitely would send them to. As a matter of fact, they paid me for the shot, so I'm kind of locked into doing it.
well, that's cool.
Yeah,
Nicely done.
thank you.
Nicely done.
Yeah, I really like the shot.
Thank you.
Who was that now?
That was Ty.
Yep.
Thanks, Ty.
Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah, I noticed it earlier in the week. It's really nice.
All right, and we've got Tracy Sutherland. Tracy, are you with us today? And she is not with us today. Tracy, got a nice expression going here. Got a nice, very nice exposure. Nice light, soft light, always works really well. Looks like there's something behind the photographer to light up these eyes, which looks really fantastic here. Excellent, nicely done, and beautiful. All right. Can't ask her how she did it, but we'll certainly know later. Okay, and we have Tim Sebring. Tim, how are you? Tim, are you there? All right. Well, I see you're unmuted, but I'm not hearing you, Tim. So we'll just take a look at this. Shot of the stranger, looks like you've got the shot of the stranger, yes, but um, it just doesn't have, the composition with the car in her head and things like that, it looks too much like a grab shot for me. Really, really like to see more attention to that. I don't think your mic is working out. I don't think it is either, Tim, because we're not hearing you. But yeah, I'm just not feeling this here at all because of the car right in her head, and of course we've got this person back here in a black dress, and it's very dark and dark against the light background, and just not working there for me. But the person looks nice. They've got a nice expression. Your light isn't too bad. Watch out for these little speculars from the light coming through the eyeglasses onto the cheeks. That can be a problem. So take it out in Photoshop or have them turn their head just a little bit more. Don't be afraid to direct the folks that you're photographing. Don't be afraid to do that. It's okay. And who do we have here? This is Sheila Morgan. Is Sheila on tonight with us? Sheila. Oh, no. Darn it. Sheila is a photographer that had me come out to the Bay Area and do a one-on-one with her for lighting. And so this looks like a group of folks. Sheila's very outgoing and very big in her church, and it would not surprise me if this wasn't some folks from her church that she didn't know and photographed. So nice light, Sheila, beautiful. Looks like a single big light in front, and yeah, very nice, very beautiful. And let's take you right here. Okay, Shanna. Is that Shanna? It is Shanna Baker. And Shanna's not with us either. Nice smile, nice engagement. She's smiling to the camera. I like that. The picture's a little flat. I'd love to get a little more pop to it. So if we could do that, maybe in Photoshop or with lighting, just a little bit more snap to the shot. But nice that you walked up and got that stranger's picture. And we have Pat Matthews. And we do have Pat Matthews. Hi, Pat. How are you?
Hey, Don. How you doing? Good.
Good.
How you doing?
Good. So we have a young lady and her large dog.
Yes. Which
Good
is actually
grief.
a puppy.
Oh my gosh. Really?
I think she said he's going to get another 7 to 8 inches and 100 pounds, something like that.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you got them in the sun and put
Yes.
the shade behind her to pop them out. Okay.
Yep.
And this is just, there's no fill or anything. It's just the sun.
Just the sun.
Excellent. What did you say to her when you walked up to do the?
I went to a local park and just kind of, I had a couple of ideas that I was trying to work with, and as I'm walking around, I happened to see her walk by, and the dog is a very friendly dog, and we started talking about the dog a little bit, and I was like, hey, do you mind if I take your picture? She's like, oh, no. And then I just had to move. We were kind of in a shady spot. Had to move into a little bit of a more sunny spot
Mm-hmm.
so I could get a better pop on him.
Then did you offer to send her a picture?
You know what? I didn't think of it at the time.
Yeah,
But
always.
she was cool with.
Yep. Most people,
She
you know
was
what?
cool
Most
with, you know.
people will say, "Oh, you don't know, don't bother or anything." But if they do say yes, that would be great. Then it is absolutely imperative for you to do it. You've got to do what you say. So
Yep.
if they don't ask and or they say, "Oh, don't worry about it," then you're fine. But if they say, "Fine, here's my email address," then by all means, make sure they get the picture. All right, now the angle of the camera is you standing there, right?
Yes.
Okay. I wonder what would have happened if you'd got down lower, and instead of going down on, because we're kind of shortening up her legs here. This is a 50 millimeter or a little bit wider, or
3570. I think I had it 35.
about 35. Yeah. And when we're out at a kind of a wide angle, we're just going to come right down. Look, we're looking right down on the tops of her feet.
Yep.
And maybe it would have been better to back up and put it on 70 and come from mid-level and that would put her head, instead of this bright area behind her head here, put her head right up into that tree I see hanging down.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And gotten more separation. The lower you get, the lower the horizon gets. I mean, if you got all the way down on the ground, the horizon would be down along her knee or her upper calf. And you would just have tree, et cetera, behind her. So always remember, point of view is so important.
Okay.
Very good. And we have a whole bunch of shots here by Nat Seymour. Hi, Nat. How are you?
Doing well, Don. Doing well.
Fantastic. Wow. Where was this?
Well, this was within a couple hundred yards of the Space Needle in Seattle. I've been invited to go to a beer festival right after I received the assignment, and I thought it would be a good thing to try. And what I was doing is I figured I'd just take pictures of a bunch of people and select the best one. But when I saw all of them, I kind of wanted to.
You got a
put them
lot
all
of good
together and
shots.
sort of-
You got
Thank
a
you.
lot of good shots. This is really fun. This is a great shot. Another good shot. I love this guy here. Her smile is great. She looks good. He looks fantastic. That's a great smile. You've got a lot of shots. Now, this looks to me like you were having fun.
I was having fun and drinking fun, yes.
I don't know anything about that drinking stuff. But I do know about having fun, and boy, it looks like you had a great time. This is fantastic. And I take this as all natural light, like in the tent, because the light looks
Correct.
so
These
even.
are all. There's a few indirect sunlight, as you can see, the ones to the left, but pretty much they're all in the tent. I put the aperture, the f number, as low as I could get, and I wanted to show the whole vibe in the background with a little bit of blur.
Okay, and we got a wide angle going like 2470.
Yeah. It's a little distorted, but it was
that's
so close in there.
Yeah, that's par for the course. I hope hope everybody saw it, but did you see the one that I posted today from a photographer who shot for at Bon Appetit. I put it on the Flickr site, and you can go and see the 2 pages that Bon Appetit saw that used of his work. Then he posted some outtakes. Okay. And he's got all these beautiful outtakes. And it was just a great example of, you know, when you see somebody's work printed, you don't know if that was his best work, because the stuff that Bon Appetit used was not his best work. His best work is down below in the stuff they didn't use. So take a look at that. It's and see how many shots you have to do to get, you know, when you're doing this kind of work. Nicely done. Nicely done. All right. And back. And we have, oh, I got to move this thing out of the way here. All right. Very good. Joel, are you on here? Joel, you are on here. Found a skateboarder. I like your depth of field. I'm going to beat you up about one thing. What do you think that's going to be, Joel?
Location, the lighting.
Location of the lighting?
Yeah, in other words, the big halo around his head.
Yeah, I don't have a problem with that. I think it's kind of cool.
No problem with that?
Nope, I have a problem with him being skewered by the flagpole.
Oh, I see.
Especially when we could have moved him right over here and framed him with the flagpole.
Yeah, that's true.
Got to watch those. Got to watch those backgrounds. Now, where is this?
Just the downtown of Columbia. It was on the 4th of July, and I had sort of pre-visualized some kind of a shot with a flag in it, and I got the shot with the flag and the whole flag, but it was that whole white building that was across from me was just so blaring. I just tried to crop it out.
Yeah, and that doesn't bother me. It gives me a real sense of context. Bright sunny day. That doesn't bother me at all. The light on his face is a little flat. Probably got a little flare going on here as well with that much white back there. So are you a Lightroom or a Photoshop guy?
I'm a Photoshop guy, but I don't know what I'm doing.
What's that? But you know what?
I have Photoshop, but I don't know how to use it very well.
Okay. We need to get a little more contrast in his face. Do you know how to use adjustment layers for contrast?
Nope.
Okay. Well, when the newsletter comes out,
I recommend lynda.com. Sorry, I recommend lynda.com for learning Photoshop.
Absolutely.
This is Ty speaking again. I was in the exact same position where I didn't know anything about Photoshop whatsoever. And I went on to lynda.com, Lynda, and I taught myself Photoshop. It took me a long time, it took me a while to do it, but it was the best investment that I've ever made.
Yeah, Linda's great. She's $25 a month, and you have access to everything she does, all the training, unlimited access to it. And so what you do is you simply sit there, watch what she does, watch what one of her instructors does, and then do it. In the Udemy courses that you'll be getting the links to this week, all the shots that I do, I also do the Photoshop on them, so you can follow along. And I include the PSD files that I shot so that you can take them apart and see what I did. So
Great.
Not the same as Linda. She's teaching a formal course. I just tell you what I did on one shot. So.
Yeah. The other thing that is really cool, really nice about Lynda is that if you can do the $25 a month and you can be a member, or if you can bump it up to it's like $35 or $36 a month, and you can actually use and work along with the instructors with the images that they're working on.
Yeah, you can download them.
Download and use those images. So.
Yep, you can download the PSD files. Absolutely, excellent, excellent. I like Lynda best of all of them. So, all right, and we've got a shot here by Jeff Mills. And we have Jeff right there. Hi there, Jeff. How are you? Jeff, you just kind of fused out on me here. See if you can get that mic working there, and I'm going to go and take a look. We got a lot of distraction in the glasses. That can be fixed by having them tilt their face down a little bit. I do like the fact that you placed him in this white area with the two dark ones on the side. It's kind of framing him. But I think you could have moved him more this way so that his hair and ear didn't. I mean, this isn't what I would call a strict tangent, but it's so close to be a tangent. I just would love to. I mean, it's almost like it makes me nervous where he is. Needs to be this way over to about here so we get his face in this white area, or move him farther this way and put his face in the dark area. I would prefer the white area. I think you made the right call there. But this shot also needs a little bit of contrast and a little bit of pop. Whenever you have that much reflection in the glasses, you're going to have to do something about it. Tilt the head down, have them look a little bit more this way or something. Watch out for those glasses. If they reflect that much, it's a problem. It really is. So I hope if you get your mic fixed for next time so we can chat. A great expression though on the young man. This is Gabby Wright. Yeah, there we go. Gabby is right there. Hi, Gabby. Is your mic working? Hello, hello. Okay, I don't see Gabby up there. Okay. This shot is nicely done by placing him in the darkness here and his hat up into the dark rafters. All this looks very, very good. The sharpness, I think, is probably, this is obviously a bit of a wide angle lens, so the depth of field not falling off much is a result of that. The light, natural light on his face looks really good. The only thing I would do is to get in Photoshop and bring this up just a little bit, 10% maybe, because it's just starting to fall away a little bit up in here and we're losing it. And Photoshop, even Lightroom will do that. Just bring it up a little bit. It's not cheating or any of those things when people tell you, oh, we do it straight out of the camera. Well, I've been doing it for 40 years. I never did it straight out of the camera. Negative got into the enlarger and we burned and dodged and hot decked all and all kinds of things. So, okay. I like the shot and really like the way he's engaging with the photographer. Carl Cottrell. Carl, let's see, on the phone there. Sent you a pen, Carl. How you doing?
Good. Good.
So tell us about this gentleman here.
Well, this guy is, his name is Lewis. I came up to him at church and on Sunday and said, hey, I kind of explained to him what I was doing and asked him if I could pull him aside, and we went behind back where the baptismal was at church, and I got him to, I lit it with a speed light and took a picture, and I get home and dadgummit, I forgot to have him take his name tag off.
Oh, well, I didn't really even notice that. I thought it was maybe it was a coach or something. So when you say lit it with a speed light, you bounce it into the wall or something? Yeah,
I did. I tried it a couple of ways, and he wasn't real patient. He's like, yeah, I'll do it. He's about 6'5", tall, and he was like, sure, but it didn't seem like he was real comfortable with it, and so I got 4 or 5 shots off, kind of played with the lighting a little bit, and finally I just turned around and bounced it off a gray wall because everything else was black.
Yep.
And so I just bounced it up the gray wall. And
it's like you got a little something back there.
Yeah.
Yeah. My number one criticism is having these glass rims go right through the middle of his eyes, though.
Okay.
So I would have brought him up, pulled them up a little bit, or brought him down looking over the top of them. But slicing them there is kind of a faux pas. And if you had time, of course, a white card back here to open up, keep this edge of his head from going into the background would have been great. But I'm not going to tell you to walk around with a 2x4 piece of white card all the time. And especially if you can't get it done and your client, your subject, shooting strangers, they don't have the time, then you can't really fuss and do too much. So I think you pulled this off pretty well. While we're looking at the next shot here, I will say that shooting strangers is something you will be asked to do a lot as a commercial photographer. And the reason is the so many assignments send you off somewhere, like to a chili cook-off in Texas, or photographing like David Freiberg just did, photographing tourists in Yosemite for Forbes magazine, or was it Forbes or New York magazine? Everybody you shoot is going to be a stranger to you. They're all going to be a stranger to you. So you have to really get this part of it down as if you're a travel or editorial shooter for sure. Okay, this is Brady Wolf, and Brady, let's go up and find Brady Wolf. Brady is not with us today. Okay, Brady, your light looks really good. I think I'd go into Photoshop and just lighten her face up just a little bit. She looks like she's a little ruddy from swimming. We got some purple on her face and skin tone over here. I would even that tonality out so she didn't look kind of sunburned and what have you there. Great use of depth of field. Nice use of your light all the way around, backlit, soft light on the front. Good, solid shot. And we have, this one is Blair Mann. Blair Mann, there we go. Blair, are you there?
I am, Don. Thanks.
All right. So this looks like someone at a shop.
This is actually in a public market. It's a Granville Island public market in Vancouver.
Mm-hmm.
And it's very dark in there. And behind her are pastries. So it's mainly fruits and vegetables and pastries. And there are some people selling their wares. And she's a photographer who had set up a booth.
Oh, okay.
So
and did you like this,
shooting.
or is this just what did you like this, or is this pretty much what was there?
No, that's natural light. It was ISO 1600. The aperture was f8. I realized I could have used a Gaussian blur in the background. And it was a 1/60th of a second.
Okay. Or why did you choose f8?
That's yeah. I realized now probably 5/6 would have been good, or even 2/8 would have been better, but probably just not thinking it through and being a bit rushed.
Yep, that happens. Absolutely happens.
I was shot with a Canon of 24 to 70 millimeter.
Yep. It absolutely happens. Here's one of the things for you to think about. When I go to approach a photograph, the very first thing I think about is my aperture. And the reason is it's the only thing that I control that really is going to control the way the image looks to me. Because the aperture, even though if it's a slow shutter speed, I can put it on a tripod. The aperture is what makes my shot. There's a big difference between 2.8 and 16 and all those things in the middle. I generally find myself either 2.8 or 4 or 11 or 16. The ones in the middle seem to be compromises in many, many cases. I either want to work to the brightest or work to the most depth of field. But that's what you do first. Then you figure out how all the other settings.
Right, because it was so dark, I was concerned. I guess my major concern was getting the shutter speed up. So that's why I pushed it to 1600 for the
1600, yes. But you're at you said f8.
Yeah, I know. I should have paid attention to that.
And you're at a 60th of a second. So if you went to 5.6, you'd be at 120th. If you went to 4, you'd be at 250th. So you'd have.
You're right. Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. And don't be afraid of ISO 1600 either. It's.
No, it worked better than I thought it would.
Yeah, and what camera was that?
It's a Canon 5D Mark II.
Oh yeah, absolutely, no problem. Nice shot, nice shot. And we have Stephanie Florence. Thought I saw her name. We did see her name. Stephanie's on phone. Hi, Stephanie. How are you?
Can you hear me?
I can. That's
Okay.
that's one thing I can
I
guarantee.
have my phone and my iPad going.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. That's one thing I can guarantee, folks. If you do use your phone, you won't have microphone issues. But if you, after we get through these, if you want to test your mic, just let me know and I'll unmute you. You can test your mic. Okay, so we have this lady, was a volunteer fire person or something.
No, it's actually an ice cream lady.
Oh,
She's got her hands on the freezer. Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah.
We don't
The
have ice cream guys
ladies,
here in
yeah.
Phoenix these days because it's so flippin' hot. I think they're like, well, it's too hot to sell ice cream today. It's like,
Well,
oh.
it's been pretty hot where we are, but they have these little kind of golf cart truck type vehicles that basically just have a cooler. Oh, it's a Cushman, I guess.
Okay.
Anyway, so it's called the Cushman.
Okay.
And anyway, so this was the ice cream lady. She was the third stranger that I approached. The first two were, I guess, kind of hitchhikers. They were just a couple of young people that are making their way from California to Missoula, and they were really interesting. And I gave them a ride after I got their photo. But then I kind of felt like maybe I was taking the easy way out, and they were kind of hitchhikers, panhandlers, free spirits, and their photos were really interesting. But then I thought maybe it was too easy, so
no, that's all
I
right.
found the ice cream lady. The ice cream lady was not as happy about having her photo taken.
Oh, well, she looks happy in the shot you've got here, Ever. So that works.
Yeah. She
Now,
was a good sport about it.
Are you Photoshop or Lightroom?
I used both. I don't think I did much in Lightroom, and then I did it in Photoshop, and I just barely did some curves right on her face and arm area because she was extremely tan and kind of sunburned, and I tried to lighten it up a little bit. The sun was already really setting behind me, and I had to go home after this. It was just getting too dark.
I think what I'm not, because I like the shot, but see how sharp and crisp this is, and she's a little kind of she blends in. What I'm going to say is, what if you went right around her head here, and you took this already shadow area that we see back here, and just darkened that shadow area back there, so that her blonde hair stands out much more from the background than it is. I think that would help sell that shot. I really do, because this is so vibrant and so alive. It's just jumping off the page. Wow, very cool.
Well, the truck is anyway.
Huh?
The truck is anyway. The ice cream truck. I really didn't want her to fade into the background next to that truck, but so I think I need to adjust the contrast.
No, I think you just need to locally darken this up here, because whatever you do globally, you're going to just do it to this as well. So you could bring her up, but you're going to bring this so much more up as well. And I think all you need to do is to darken that shadow. It already is a shadow, right? So if we darken that shadow by 20%, that's all you'd have to do.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm not talking major moves here. 20% would be plenty. Probably just do that with the brush. And we have a young lady with a kitty. This is a beautiful photograph by Brent Davis. Brent, this is a stranger picture? You found a strange?
Yes.
Wow.
Yes, it is. It's at the farmer's market. It was a little girl on a bench next to her mom trying to find a home for the kitties.
Brent, this is a spectacular photograph. Just beautiful. And I'm not a kitty shooter, so any shot that has a kitty in it that I like, that's rare. Wow, what a moment. She's not posing for you. She doesn't want to let that cat go, does she?
No, there was a bit of a conflict there.
Yeah, she didn't want to let that cat go. My goodness. Beautiful, absolutely stunning photograph, Brent. Is this the kind of work that you normally do?
Yeah, honestly, this is kind of a collaboration. My wife and I are doing the photography together, and we both are pretty skilled at editing, but she's much more knowledgeable and has a better vision of how to incorporate textures into the images. So she gets the kudos for doing the final edits on this one and getting this ultimate effect on this.
Well, the effect is fine. That's one thing, but it's the moment that this camera snapped and caught this emotion, not only with the cat but the kid. Wow, that's really powerful. When I asked you about, I mean, are you guys like, are you shooting kids and people and that type of work? Is that your?
No, at this point, we're still trying to find our niche. So at this point, we do a little bit of everything.
Okay. Well, that's just a beautiful photograph, just all the way around. Excellent. And we've got Bob White, Mr. White. Hi, Bob.
How are you this evening?
I'm very good. Looks like you caught a guy getting into his car and asked him for a shot.
Yeah, I actually was standing behind him in one of the big box improvement stores, and as we were walking out, it ended up he was parked across from me and started talking about his car. You know, a young kid driving his Jag, and asked if I could make a photo of him in his car.
Not bad. Now, your depth of field is
Exactly.
yeah just terrible. What lens were you using?
Let's see. It's a was it 20 to 70?
Okay.
Something like that.
Canon?
No, it's Pentax.
Pentax? Okay. I'm not familiar with those lenses. Yeah, if and whenever I get busy backgrounds like this, I'm going to pull it out to the 70 and step back to do my frame. Never shooting at the wide angle because there's just so much stuff there. The other thing you could do is if you knelt down, okay, and you got down to like right even with this fender, we'd have leading lines going to him, and he and the door would block out all of this, and he'd be right up against that sky.
Exactly. Yeah.
Don't hesitate to change your point of view to fix your background. Very, very nice and a good shot. Gutsy to just walk up to somebody like that. So very cool. Jean Huang. I hope I pronounced that correctly. Jean Huang. Hi, Jean. How are you?
Yes. Good. How are you? Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. And this is a beautiful photograph that you've got going here. Stranger is obviously aware you're taking the picture. Very cool.
I was actually taking this in our recent trip to China. So we were hiking up to the Rice Terrace and saw this senior person there, and he was actually smiling at us. So I guess that's what camera does to some people. So I took advantage of that opportunity, and Grandpa started lighting the cigarette, and I, just was having a ball with that. So I took a few shots, and even after he thought we were done, I turned around and shot from a different angle too. But I thought this probably was more fitting for the subject of this project, so I picked this. And I thought the smoke coming from his cigarette was pretty cool too.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, very nice. Depth of field works very well. It's soft enough to really isolate him, but it's not so soft that we don't see what it is. So having all the little Chinese lanterns back here give us a sense of context.
Yeah, it's a traditional house that they built there. It's all made by wood.
Excellent. What part of China was this?
This was in more of a southern part of China. Do you know, there's actually one area that's pretty well known for the Rice Terrace. So we actually went particularly for that area because, we photography for our travels too. So, and pick the time of the year because that's when they have the water in the Rice Terrace. So the reflection makes it even more beautiful.
Yeah, beautiful.
But the hiking was horrible. So in one day we encounter different weathers. First monsoon, then hot and humid and sunny. So.
Yeah, I've experienced some of that hot, humid over there. Oh my God.
Yeah. So I was telling my husband, seems like some of the picture taken in fall is pretty beautiful too. He's like, I'm not going back there again.
Yeah. When I was in Singapore, I asked them as I was flying over, I said, well, I mean, how should I pack clothes wise? I mean, is it spring? Is it, what's it like? And he kind of laughed and he said, Don, we're on the equator. It's the same every day. And
I
he
know.
was right.
Yeah.
It's like 82 to 95 and with anywhere from 40% to 111,000% humidity.
Yeah.
But
You
yeah,
seem to pick
a lot
a
of fun.
cooler, feel hot.
Yeah.
I'm
right,
gonna type I'm gonna type the place of the location in China.
Okay.
For you.
All right. Thank you. And let's take a look at Brian Lawler's shot here. Brian, tell us about this photograph. How are you, sir?
I'm good. How are you guys?
Good. So this is lit. Obviously, you got a soft light or a softbox something out there.
No, I have my 580 EX2 camera right, and it's at 132nd power. It is bare. It has a Stofan on it.
Okay.
But
wow.
It's probably about 4 or 5 feet away.
Okay, so it's flattening out a little bit. I'm looking at these shadows. It really does look pretty soft, doesn't it? Other than this real striking shadow here, the light just falls right on your subject really well. Very cool.
Thanks.
And so where did you find this strange person playing the guitar?
Well, yeah, we on the 3rd of July that night, some friends up the street, they have a Joplin House concert that they put on every couple of months, and Cindy and her newly married husband was putting on a kids concert that night, and then we did fireworks afterwards. So.
Oh, okay. Well, great. Great. I like your depth of field here. Did you light the fence back here with another light, or is it just catching some of this off the Stofan?
No, it's just the daylight.
Okay, just the sun.
Yeah, it was probably around 8:30, and the sun was just coming over the top of the house. So
neat. Very neat. Okay. Cool. I think that's all the shots we have. Thank you so much. I have a question here from Gene. On the assignment to photograph tourists in Yosemite, did the photographer have to approach the tourists he was shooting? Absolutely. Absolutely. He was not given a list of names or anything. He went up there and shot it. Let me see if I can find that for you real quick.
So, hey, Don?
Yes, sir.
This is Brian. Then does he have to get signed permission forms on all those too?
On a job like that, probably he did. But if it's for newspaper, for the New York Times News or the New York Times Magazine, it's not needed because it's editorial use. So you can imagine if you were sent out to photograph for the New York magazine, if you set up to photograph the New York marathon, how in God's name would you be able to get releases? And so the law allows for editorial use. You don't really need it. You don't need it if you're doing, I'm sorry, I'm trying to find it here. I'm talking at the same time and trying to find it. Here we go. There we go. You have to do it when you do education as well. I mean, you don't have to do it. If it's for teaching, you don't have to do it. But I always do. I use Easy Release on my iPad, iPhone, Android, and you can have them just sign it with their finger. So you're out there and you sign it. It sends them an email with the release and sends you one. I have one that's actually called an editorial release. So it lets me get a release for the work, even though I don't really need it. Not needing it does not necessarily mean somebody won't create an issue. So we always do it. Yeah, these are all these are some of the shots from the strangers. So when I give you a stranger assignment like this, it's because it's kind of you're going to get assignments like this. This is all Freiberg up in Yosemite making shots of people that he finds, and that's your job, is to walk around and find people to make photographs of. So real world assignments. That's what we try to do on this, is real world assignments. Let's read Dranberry. Yeah, I can. Let's see. Let's go up here. Duran, are you here? Duran?
Yep.
Getting a lot of noise there.
Oh, you got me now?
I think so. Which is your shot?
I think I'm up top. I think it's the third one. Guitar player.
Guitar player? Oh, there we go. Yeah, one of the. I like the shot. I just thought the depth of field was too deep. We don't want to see hubcaps. We really don't. And the other thing that you could have done, and again, is to get down lower and put him up there and put all these cars way down here at his feet, so we wouldn't even notice him so much. As they are right now, the cars go right through his hands, which are pretty much a focus of the shot, right?
Yeah, and I was shooting at 3.5.
Like a 35 millimeter lens.
Yeah, it's 1750.
So yeah, even at 3.5, you're just not gonna get that kind of depth of field. I know a friend of mine was trying to figure out how he could shoot really wide angle lenses, like his 14. He's got a 14 f2.8, and he's going, but the backgrounds aren't going soft like they do on my 200, and they never will. The 14s and 18s, their depth of field pretty much forever, which is, by the way, a kind of a great thing when you think about it, because there are a couple of lens manufacturers who still make manual focus 14 millimeter lenses. Your depth of field is so great on that lens, you can't hardly shoot it out of focus. So you can save significant money if you need a real wide angle lens, and if you're on Nikon, the little light will pop on anyway and tell you that you're in focus. So, all right. So, let's open it up for some questions. We're a little bit over, but we find that generally with these things we always go over. We can't do it in an hour. Got so many things to chat about. There's so much to do. So if you have a question, pop it down in the little question box, and sometimes it takes a minute before they pop in here, so I'll kind of hang. See, I just got a note from Duran saying I had him muted, and that just popped in, and we already discussed it with him. So we do have a slight delay in those and the questions getting to me. And I'll just unmute you if you pop your name in there. I hope you're enjoying as we get going here. Next week is the vision statement thing. Going to do it twice. We're going to do it at the beginning. We're going to do it at the end, so that you have a chance to see how your vision changes and what you think about photography is changed by the workshop. So Tim wants to test his microphone. Tim, are you there? I'm going to go with it ain't working. You are unmuted, and I've got nothing going on. All right. Any other questions? Are we going to cover worksheet number 1? We are not quite yet giving people enough time to work on it. We're doing a special special meeting for this. It'll be on a Saturday for worksheet number 1. But it's worksheet number 1 is really hard to share with people, as you can imagine. It's so personal. It's pretty a deeply personal thing. However, I'm going to set something up. If you want to send me your worksheet number 1, you can. I'll set something up for it for next week, so you can send it, and I will comment one-on-one about your worksheet number 1. But we will cover that. We've got a lot of business stuff coming up. We're uploading the first probably 6 or 7 chapters of this book as we get to it, but I'm also in the middle of editing it into one solid book. When that happens, I'm just going to have you upload the book, and then we'll just refer to chapters as we go along. It's a huge book, 260 pages, I think. It's a monster. So, but it will also help you a vision taken for the second assignment and submit the vision statement to you. Working on that right now. Working on it. Just have your pictures ready, and the information will come out Saturday on that newsletter. How to upload that vision statement and the image. So hang tight with that. Don't upload it yet. Mic test by Thad. Thad, you are live. So if you unmute, are you there?
I am here.
There you go.
Okay, great. I just had one quick comment.
Sure.
I would recommend to everybody to post on the Flickr page. It'll really build a sense of community, and that's going to help everybody a lot.
That the reason I blended all the Flickr ones is I kind of woke up in the middle of the night a month or so ago and said, what am I doing? I'm creating a Flickr site for this group and a Flickr site for that group, and what I'm doing is I'm creating little pockets. And what we want to do is to create a big community. Folks, there are people on that Flickr, and I will brag about this Flickr group. It's the nicest group of people on Flickr that I've ever seen. I've never been on a forum where everybody is so helpful and friendly. We rarely, if ever, have trolls or fights or those things. They just sort of... if they start that way, they don't go more than one or two posts, and people are apologizing. Oh, never mind, I didn't mean that, and whatever. And it goes, you will not be beat up. Nobody cares if it's a newbie question. Everybody will jump in and help you. So instead of creating multiple communities, I just moved it over to one community. You definitely should participate there. It's fun. It's a great group of people, and you will learn so much additional things that it's amazing. So thanks for that. That's exactly. Gene, I said at the beginning, and you might have not been here when yes, the Udemy class codes are coming out in the newsletter you will get Saturday. So Saturday you will be able to access the Udemy classes, and in the newsletter I will make some suggestions about where you start. I'm going to have, if you would start with the natural light courses and then move into the strobe courses, that would be probably the best way to go. But yes, they're coming on Saturday, and everybody will have access. All right. Okay, well, I'm going to let you go then. If there's no other questions, I'm going to say goodnight, and I will have this video posted, and you'll be able to review it, and all the videos go right back up on the same assignment page. So assignment number 1 will have everything. It'll have your upload, it has your webinar links, and it'll now have the critique. So please access that when you're looking for your critique stuff. Okay, it'll always go back right on this, right on the critique page that we're looking at here. So you have the images and the critique right on it. So, all right, thanks, folks. I'm going to run, and I will see you next time.